we've done here is we built up our air pressure, and our goal here is to do 3 different air brake tests. You have to do these every time you start your vehicle, every time you're going to go on a trip. If you're going to come down like Sandstone Mountain or some steep grade, generally there's a pull-off where you need to check your brakes. This is part of that brake check. So you're going to make sure that you have enough air. You're going to turn it back into the on position. Once you're in the on position, you should still make sure you have air. The first part of this is going to be the applied brake test. Then I'm going to move the steering wheel so we can kind of get a little bit better view. But your 2 gauges here are basically at 120 to 130, and that's going to depend on your compressor governor. So what's going to happen is the governor is going to sneeze when it's full. Whatever you have that set at, maybe it's set at 120, maybe it's set at 130. But essentially in that compressor, there's a piston and there's a spring. And once that compressor has enough air to compress that spring based on your settings, essentially it's going to blow off, and you're going to hear what basically a lot of people call a sneeze. So what's going to happen is you need to push in your air, which we've done. Kind of let that stabilize. This is why you need about 120, 130, because you're going to lose some when you push that knob. Essentially, for the applied brake test, you're going to tell your tester, your instructor, I need you to start my time, and in 1 minute I will not lose more than 4 psi. The entire purpose of this is to make sure that you're not losing air, you don't have a leak somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my window down. Basically, I'm going to apply my foot to the brake, and I'm going to say, once my gauges have stabilized, I need you to start my time. And basically in that 1 minute of time, I will not lose more than 4 psi. So essentially this is the applied brake test, and we can see that I am not losing any air. My gauges are here. Obviously at this point you're going to tell your tester or your instructor, hey, in 1 minute I have not lost more than 4 psi. And what you are really listening for there is, do I have a leak? You will hear an audible leak if you have an airbag leak or whatever it is. Tractor protection valve is busted, whatever the case is, you got a leak. And it could be a small leak where maybe you're not even going to lose 4 psi in a minute, but you're going to lose a little bit of air. It's better to fix it on the side of the road or at the shop before you hit the road and it becomes a big problem. So moving into the bigger leaks, you could have already drained your whole tank. So you're going to hear these audible leaks if there are any leaks at all, really. So moving into the second part of this test, and we're going to do 2 tests together in the same one here. Essentially, you want to make sure here that your buzzer or your alarm is going off for your air brakes. So you are going to pump down, and this is called the buzzer check. You're going to pump down your brakes, and at 60 psi, your alarm and your light should go off. And in this case, we have light. And the next piece is you want this to pop, your valve to pop. So you're going to continue to pump down. That should between 20 and 30 psi pop. Essentially you're evacuating your air tank, and once you get to this point, you're trying to check your tractor protection valve to make sure, and it popped. You're testing your tractor protection valve to make sure that it pops between 20 and 30, because the tractor protection valve ultimately is there to protect you and your truck in the event that you lose a trailer, your airlines become disconnected. Your truck will maintain enough air pressure for you to be able to stop safely on the side of the road. So you have 3 different air brake tests. One, basically your applied pressure test, make sure you're not losing more than 4 psi in 1 minute. 2, making sure that your buzzer and your light work. My buzzer didn't work, so I'm not sure what's going on with this truck, but the light does work. And then your tractor protection valve test, which makes sure that at between 20 and 30 psi, as you're draining that tank, your knob pops out for your brakes.